Welcome to Mintel's Little Conversation, real conversations with actionable insights into what consumers want and why. I'm your host, Andrew Davidson, based in New York. Car ownership is one of the biggest financial commitments consumers make, yet for decades, the credit card industry has overlooked it as a rewards category. That's where the Fasten Rewards Visa comes in. Launched in April 2025, Fasten Rewards is a first-of-its-kind product that gives points on auto-related expenses, including car loans and leases, insurance, gas, repairs, and registration. It's a bold attempt to reimagine loyalty for America's drivers at a time when auto financing is under the spotlight, tariffs are pushing up vehicle prices, and the Trump administration's new auto loan tax deduction is reshaping consumer incentives. I'm delighted to welcome Jacob Zaks, founder and CEO of Fasten, to the pod to talk all about it. Jacob, welcome to the pod. Where are you joining from today?
Thanks for having me, Andrew. I am in my windowless office in sunny Connecticut.
Well, it's great to have you. What is the Fasten Rewards card and how does it work from a consumer perspective?
Yeah, so we launched the Fasten Rewards Visa credit card a few months ago, and as far as I know, we are the only credit card that gives points on auto loans and leases. Brand agnostic, lender agnostic. We will give 2 points back on your auto loan, but we're actually bumping that up. So some exciting news coming soon. And then, there are obviously a lot of credit cards out there, but we really want to be the credit card for your holistic auto spend. So instead of giving bonus points to restaurants, we'll give bonus points for your parking, gas, insurance, tolls, maintenance, car washes, DMV visits. So, really kind of going after this thing, whether you're an auto enthusiast or just driving yourself to work and your kids to school, we are doing that with a zero fee card.
You've got a loyalty network where you're working with dealers. I mean, how do the partnerships with dealerships work, and what value do they see in Fasten as a loyalty tool?
Yeah. So, dealers do have some differentiation, but they're essentially selling the same product, right? I do like to say, hey, the car you drive, you can get at other dealers, just like a Big Mac, you can get at other McDonald's, right? So it's really a way for dealers to differentiate themselves. You say, hey, you come to us and the price of your vehicle can be lowered significantly, like right now too, but bumping it up to 3% soon on just your auto loan. And then also the other auto expenses, you're going to be getting bonus points for that. So, it's a real way for dealers to go and differentiate themselves. And we have a rewards calculator that helps dealers show the car buyers how much they can be saving with the Fasten card. And then also the point redemption. So our points can be redeemed at Fasten partners. So, the consumer has a choice where they want to go, and you can go to, dealerships within the group and go in and say, hey, I had a Ford this time, I want a Toyota next time. You can go and redeem your points for your next purchase or for service and maintenance. And, car prices are going up, as you mentioned, service prices are going up, parts are going up. So, it's a real win-win for the consumer and the dealership side.
So what makes it so unique is the fact that you're getting points on your loan or lease. And we've seen the Mesa card that offers points on a mortgage. You've seen Built offer points on rent. I mean, can you tell me how it works?
Yeah. So, Built this thing is kind of has kind of been the stalwart in this space of kind of the large recurring spend category space. And, rent is a good auto loan and mortgages or debt. So the way it works right now is, we have a loan recognition system. So you just set up your loan. We don't actually put the auto loan on the card itself. So we don't get around the issue of paying for debt with debt. We set up you set up your loan, attach any loan or lender. We recognize that that's been paid and we'll give you points. So, I hear a lot, hey, my lender doesn't accept credit cards. And frankly, that actually doesn't make a difference to us. Any lender we can work with and give you points back on the auto loan and lease through a recognition, which is kind of our special sauce. So, I don't want to give away too many secrets, but, yes. any loan or lease will give you, we'll give you points back.
So somehow you connect the fact that they make this payment and that's how you verify it.
Exactly.
So what's your background and, what inspired you to start Fasten?
Yeah, so I've been working always in early stage tech, basically my entire professional career. My last stint was at a company called Forage, which is a a payment processor for government services, mostly SNAP and EBT, food stamps. I was living in New York. I went to college in DC, didn't really have a car in college or in New York. My wife got pregnant. We moved from Brooklyn to the suburbs, bought really my first car ever. And I was like, hey, why am I getting points on my rent and not my auto loan and lease? And so I actually knew a bunch of the C-suite over at Built. I was like, hey, are you guys moving into auto? They said, no, we're moving into mortgages. But how about we come on and, give you guys like a helping hand and come on as advisors. So I have some C-suite on the Built team as advisors and investors. Yeah. And, obviously they're doing pretty well. So, we got a lot of learnings from them, but, really kind of going after this large market. And, what it comes down to is there's only one city in America where you're not driving every day. And that's really New York. And so there's a lot of other part of this country where we can go and help you, whether you're an auto enthusiast or just driving yourself to work and your kids to school.
Yeah, I was looking at some Mintel data the other day, and I saw that only 6% of the population don't have a car.
Yeah.
As being a non-car owner myself, I realize I'm very much in the minority, but then living in New York, it's a little bit different here. So you mentioned this huge market. I mean, who are you targeting? What's your addressable market?
Yeah. So, we are a credit score 680 and above card. So that's about 100 million Americans, right? So really anyone, if you have an auto loan or lease, and this is kind of how I think about it, right? You are spending the money anyway. It's a real 0 to 1. You are either maximizing your points or you are not as a zero fee card. And so, hey, if you want to come in and ostensibly lower your loan by, a few percentage points just by signing up for a credit card, go and do that. And then, our thing is that auto-related spend is 5% of US GDP. And it's not just the car itself, right? There's gas, EV charging, tolls, car washes. Obviously, insurance is a huge cost. So we really want to maximize the points and the ownership cost of for the entire car ownership life cycle. And the thing I love about this is, you can be on your last house, right? But you're never not buying your last car really until the very end. So whether it's you, your spouse, your kids, yes. Even if you're done with your auto loan, you're probably thinking about what your next car is going to be. And so now you can really start earning points towards that next down payment as well.
Oh, so you see the journey going beyond the loan?
Yeah, totally. I mean, you want to maximize your points with gas and insurance and all the other auto-related spend. That's where we really come. That's where we really come in.
Obviously, it's early days. April, I think, was your official launch.
Yeah, early May, but yeah, around there.
Oh, early May. Okay. Well, how's it going so far? What signals have you seen from early adopters, and what has surprised you most about some of that early behavior? Who is your typical cardholder?
Yeah, so it's a lot of like suburban families, right? So, your spouse, you're driving yourself to work, your kids to school. That's been like a lot of our pickup. And then most people are using the card the way we want it, right? Putting those large recurring spend categories on the card. And our whole thing is that we also just, recently came out with travel as well. So you don't only have to go and redeem at your dealership. So the thing I think about a rewards program is you want to have a broad ability places for people to redeem as well. And so, we don't only have it at the dealerships, but you can also go and redeem for more traditional credit card stuff like travel and gift cards and hotels. And so if you want to be the credit card where you can go on your dream vacation or buy your dream car. And so, that's kind of how people see it. But, it's been going well. It's a journey to be a startup.
Well, that's interesting. So do you have a travel portal, or how do they redeem for travel?
Yeah, you have a travel portal. Yeah. So you can go in and redeem, and we're coming up with, transfer partners and all of that, right? You got to start somewhere, but the whole thing is to be more robust, as we grow and as we grow our user base, right? The more cardholders we have, the more people want to come and partner with us. So, that's really the key on our end, is to, show value to the consumer, show value to the dealer, and, kind of use that B2B2C model, for card distribution, or just traditional B2C.
It sounds like you've very much got the Built model in mind, as they're very big on transfer partners.
Yeah. And using the landlords, right? So, yeah.
Yeah. As you do with dealers. So the typical customer, as you say, is 680 plus. What's a typical loan?
So the average auto loan is $725 in America, and so right now, so that's the whole key is like going and getting rewards for that. But there are some higher, there are some lower.
$725 a month.
$725 a month. Yeah, but that's fully broadly. So Prime Plus is definitely a little higher than that too. And so we can but you can put on yours and your spouses and all of that too. So it's really going through and making sure that most families don't just have one car, right? They don't just have one auto loan or one lease. The most of the time they have two, three. So.
And can you put multiple loans on the card?
Yeah, up to a certain amount. And then you would have to get another card. Yeah. So it's making sure that people are just going and seeing the value. And when you go in and say, hey, we can, right now it's 2, but we're bumping it up and save you a few percentage points in your auto loan, right? Like, and people do that math pretty quickly in their head and they see the benefit, both the short term and the long term. And just one other thing is you don't have to have just purchased the car, right? If you have 20% on your loan, 90% on your loan, if you purchase your vehicle that day, well, you can sign up for the card. And so it's really anywhere in the ownership life cycle you can get a Fasten card.
I was going to ask you that. Are most card holders those who've recently purchased a new or used car?
Yeah. And so part of that is we partner with the dealers. We do some marketing, right? And we go and we market to people through our dealerships that say, hey, you have 80% on your loan. Why not go start and redeeming the points, right? And that's the benefit that the dealer has to the consumer as well. And, showing a benefit that no other dealer in their area, whether you're in, Maine or Washington or anywhere in between, or even Hawaii and Alaska, if your dealer is offering this to you, it's really showing a benefit for on the dealership side.
Bringing a new credit card to market isn't easy. I mean, it sounds like you've got a great idea. What have been the biggest challenges in building the business so far?
Yeah. So, that's kind of one of these things where we live in this world of AI where technological moats are kind of people are still figuring out, are these a thing of the past? And a company that used to take you 2 years to build can now take you a few months, right? And so what it comes down to with a financial services product, there's always going to be compliance. There's always going to be regulation. So to launch a credit card takes a while. And so, we really have a great head start about this. And someone was going to come up with this idea, but, I'm obviously pretty tapped into this market and I'm working on this every day. And so as far as I know, we're the only ones doing this.
So when did you have that light bulb moment in Brooklyn and how long did it take you to get the card off the ground?
Yeah, so you got to raise the money. You got to go do the due diligence and all the processes. It took about a year and a half, right? And so,
we sounds pretty quick.
Yeah. Year and a half, maybe even 2 years, but we hired a really good team, right? I'd say the most important thing I do other than podcast with you is hiring a good team. And so our key is, hiring people with a lot of really good expertise, both in the auto and the credit card side. Going from there, but launching a credit card doesn't just happen quickly. There are a lot of ways to make the sausage. And so, we went with our partner Highnote, who's our processor, and our bank Celtic, and went with Visa. But, the due diligence, that's once we signed, right? So there's also all of that. And I'm also, doing all the CEO stuff of fundraising and all of that. So it's like, hey, why not, now I'd say what our compliance and, that long pole of actually building the card is actually a benefit for us because of how long it takes to launch a card.
So who was your first hire? What was the role of your first hire?
Yeah, so he actually just left the team. He was a consultant, but met this guy, Matthew Goldman. Matthew was credit cards. He runs a blog called Credit Cards for the Win. I was literally in LA. I sent him a cold email and I was like, hey, you want to grab lunch? And Matthew was incredibly, invaluable into getting this thing off the ground. You're a credit card insider. He's a credit card insider. Seen you two might know each other, but Matthew really, I couldn't have done this without him and his team at Kitavi. And so, highly could not recommend them enough and, really kind of helped me through the pitfalls. Yeah.
Yes. He started a few credit cards and related initiatives in his time. So how are you approaching the marketing strategy? I mean, you alluded to it earlier with the dealers, but how are you getting the word out? What's the strategy there?
Yeah. So, I think one of the big headwinds we have is like, we're not AI is obviously the hot button term right now. We are not an AI company, but also we are tackling the number one issue for consumers and for dealers, right? So affordability, car prices have gone up 30% since 2020, and that's before tariffs hit. So, we might not be like an AI company that's doing that, but we are like, I think our value prop is pretty obvious, right? Sign up for a no annual fee card and start redeeming points on your auto and help lower your loan or lease. I think just like makes a lot of sense. But in the marketing side, right, like going and finding dealers, there are 16,000 franchise dealers in America. So there's a wide range of people and people who want to go and try new things and all of that. And so as I think about this, this product, it's partnering with good dealers, but also going out there and marketing yourself. When I started this company 2 years ago, tariffs were not on the top of my mind, but auto tariffs are a thing, right? This fall, like what we're coming into right now, the 2026 models, their estimates that some brand prices can be going up another 30%, right? Yale put out a study that certain brands can go up 30%. And that's both foreign and American. We have a cross-border supply chain. And so, people are really going to be feeling the effect of that. And so, and even if they're not right now, you might as well start earning points so you don't feel the effect of that whenever the next time you're getting your card is. And so, as we think about this, we're really, tackling, like, as we mentioned before, this is America. 94% of people own a car, right? And so you're going to need your next car. And so whether you're not being affected by tariffs currently, you probably will be affected by higher car prices whenever you're purchasing your next vehicle.
If I was to walk in the shoes of someone buying a car, where would I come across Fasten? If I walked into a dealership, at what stage do I see the Fasten Rewards credit card?
Yeah. So we have, marketing materials up, like get points on your auto loan, right? Everyone, when you go to the car, you test drive with the salesperson and you negotiate the car with what's called the F&I manager. And at their desk, at every desk, we have like a little palm pad that says Palm Pilot. No, I think those are outdated. Palm card, I think is the word I'm looking for. Yeah. Palm card that says like get points on your auto loans and leases, right? And people are asking about that. And that's really the key. And we also have a rewards calculator for the consumer. So we come in and it's going to say, hey, at the dealer, your car is, let's say, 45 grand over 70 months with the Fasten card. Just by spending the money you're already spending, your car is it's going to be 41 grand. And if you're your primary card, like the world is really your oyster, right? So that's that. And, when you want to redeem, some people might redeem for travel, but I bet you a lot of people will go back and redeem at the dealership. And a lot of dealer revenue is in service. So you really want people coming back there for service and maintenance as opposed to going to someplace else.
It reminds me of a store card where you're at the point of sale and that's where you're going to be presented the offer.
Yes, at the dealer.
At the dealer when you're signing the papers and sorting out the loan.
Totally. And that's like the B2B2C side of it. But then there's also our marketing, right? So 90% of people are searching for a car before, whether that's on a marketplace or going on review videos on YouTube or looking on TikToks or Instagram reviews, right? And so we also go in and do our own marketing in those, in those places and really kind of like go and see that, we have all this tracking data and we see, hey, we hit keywords, you're looking for a new vehicle, right? Like we should be popping up and kind of like, being the only people, as far as I know, my compliance likes when I say as far as I know, doing what we're doing, it feels to me like a real no-brainer. Obviously I'm biased. It's my company, but why not start, reducing that cost of that next down payment? Sure. While you're researching.
Are most coming through the dealer or coming through affiliates so far?
It's, it's a little bit of both, right? I mean, as you know well, like also credit card influencer marketing is kind of an industry amongst itself, right? So we go in, we work with influencers, work with not only traditional credit card influencers, but like auto influencers, car review people, right? Things like that. We sponsored a NASCAR event, right? We also we're starting to now work with auto brokers and car clubs, right? Like the, Jeep Club of Houston, let's say, for example, right? So, people who are car enthusiasts, but, not only car enthusiasts have an auto loan. Everyone has an auto loan at some point.
Well, you've got to be where your consumers are.
Yeah.
Your value prop is unique. I mean, when I started out sort of saying that the card industry is somewhat overlooked this area, but obviously you've got cards like the GM card and other co-brand cards related to auto. But who do you see as the competition?
I'd say it's the OEM cards, but they are not offering you points at auto loans. Generally, they're only offering you bonus points at the dealership, and also their redemption is generally just for service and maintenance of your vehicle, right? So we have broader point accrual options and broader point and redemption options, right? So I'd say it's more consumer focused, and also it's more dealer focused, right? With the GM card, you're GM's customer. We want you to feel like you're being rewarded by your dealer, who's really the one who you have the relationship with, right? You're not buying your car, unless obviously Tesla and Rivian, but you're generally not buying your car from the OEM itself. You're buying your car from the dealership. And dealerships have been in business for 100 years, right? They're real staples of the community. And so, how do they go and show value to their community that they've been in for 3-4 generations at some point, right? It's just another way for dealers to show value for their customers.
Well, I've got no idea how many dealerships are out there. It must be a big effort. I mean, similar to built with landlords.
Yeah. So, there were some onesie twosies, but there are also some public groups that own a few hundred stores. It really, like some of them own, you have 10 regional stores. There's a very wide range there. But dealers also see the benefit. And, like any other business, everyone understands their competition. So if you're a dealer in St. Louis and you see that, one of your competitions has Fasten, it's like, hey, that's something that we're not offering. Why are we not offering this, right? Like anything, there's always a want and a need.
Are you doing marketing outreach to dealers, or is it all boots on the ground, knocking on doors?
Yeah, so I'd say we've kind of have 4 marketing funnels, right? B2C, just us getting the cardholders. B2B, us getting the dealers, and B2B2C, so us helping the dealers enroll cardholders. And then life cycle marketing, right? We want people to use the card as much as we possibly can, but that's kind of its own different beast.
Looking ahead, what's the near-term, medium-term, and long-term vision for Fasten?
Yeah, so we are coming out, I can't give hard dates, but we're going to be coming out with a bunch of other products, right? Like dealer dashboard to get insights into how Fasten's helping you, a broader rewards program. So if someone doesn't want another credit card or might not, we might not be able to underwrite them, how do they also start to get rewards from them and from their dealers? Potentially like co-branded cards. We also, we're going to be coming out with some custom chips. Don't tell them, I'll come back on when we do that, but some pretty cool card art as well. Also like the whole vertical finance, right? So, in a few years, right? Like there are companies doing this right now. Every car is going to have their own wallet, right? Like you have your Apple or iPhone, or Apple wallet or Android wallet. Cars are going to have those. And so how do we make sure that, if you're getting gas or driving through a drive-through, we're the top of wallet and being kind of thought of everything auto related and beyond that. And then, making sure we're getting to the entire payment processing stack as well. So we want to be on the consumer side, what you think of when you're anytime you're driving and beyond that. And then on the dealership side and, the entire payment processing stack down the road.
As a CEO, are you focused on product development or focused on funding, or is it all of the above?
When you look at your wife when she's 3 months pregnant and you tell her, I think I want to start a company, and she looks at you and she goes, you're crazier than I thought, but let's do it. You kind of realize you got to kind of have your feet in everything, but also that's why you hire, right? You got to hire well. And so, it's a lot of having faith in my team that everything is going and moving forward in the right direction. But, you got to hit your, with a startup, right? You got to hit your short-term goals to get that funding to hit your longer-term goals. And so right now, it's about cardholders, proving out the model through dealers, and then I'm obviously going out there, getting the word out there, doing fundraising, but doing the marketing, but also going and talking to dealers, talking to cardholders, right? Everyone who signs up for a new card, I give them a call and say, hey, how did you hear about us? What are the things that we can go and do, right? Right now we're still at that stage where I can do that. I don't think I'll be able to do that forever, but yes, it's something that we can do. And also, referrals, right? So that's something we want to implement, right? You get 10,000 points if you refer a friend, right? That's something that's pretty standard in the credit card world, and using your initial consumers as a base makes a total sense to me.
Finally, auto financing is very much in the news right now. I mean, you mentioned the 100 million addressable market. obviously tariffs are driving up vehicle prices, and the new federal tax deduction for auto loan interest is coming in. I mean, how do you see these developments affecting consumer demand and affecting where Fasten fits in?
Consumer demand is a very interesting question because as I'll say it once, I'll say it a million times. It's driving in America, right? We are a society built around driving and built around car ownership, right? There's this conversation. Hey, when Uber came out, will people still own their own cars, right? I get that question. They're like, Waymo's does, but this is America. People want their own vehicle. People want their car parked inside their house. But what it comes down to is cars, like everything, are getting more expensive, and tariffs are hitting it. And so I want to be. If I have done my job well, we want to be the no-brainer product, right? Yeah, I have an auto loan. It would make zero sense for us not to sign up for the Fasten card, right? And I think that we're already doing that with our base value prop. But as long as you can go in and build more products and build more stuff for the consumer and for the dealer, and just make this if we're successful, we'll have copycats. But having a head start is key. But as you're spending the money anyway, why not get the points? It's a real 0 to 1.
You mentioned that you're going to be changing the reward structure. Is that based on consumer feedback?
Yeah, and I also think you want to make sure that you want to just go and make sure that consumers are seeing the benefit, right? I mean, there are a lot of credit cards out there. You have to find a way to stand out. And so as we think about standing out, it's going and showing the value to our consumers and to our dealers. And beyond that, right? For us, you get points for auto spend, but then bonus points at your dealership, right? So making sure that people do come back, beyond that, these are your bonus points for all auto spend, and then beyond that at your dealership. And so, making sure that your dealer is always the best option for you in terms of accrual and redemption is really key. And, there are stats, 74% of car buyers who get their car serviced at the dealership return to that dealership for their next purchase. The number drops down to 35% if you're going elsewhere. So it's all about starting the cycle early. And, that's a benefit for the dealer as well.
Well, thank you, Jacob. It's a great conversation and an exciting time for Fasten. I'd love to have you back next year, maybe see how it's all going. And the timing of all this is so interesting. So with tens of millions of consumers holding car loans or leases, Fasten Rewards is tapping into a major spending category that traditional rewards programs have ignored. For product teams, it's a reminder that even mature markets have untapped opportunities waiting to be unlocked. Launching a credit card isn't easy. As we've heard on this podcast from founders of Built, Cardless, Ness, and Aspiration, not every venture survives. Fasten's story highlights both the hurdles and the resilience needed to innovate in this space. Fasten's unique value proposition sets it apart, and if they can build awareness and adoption, the upside could be significant. For marketers, it underscores how differentiation plus timing can drive rapid growth if executed well. The conversation doesn't end here. Head over to Mintel's LinkedIn and Instagram and let us know what you think. We'd love to hear your thoughts. You can also check out my Lightbulb Moments blog. And if you want to know more about Mintel, visit mintel.com and sign up to become a member of our free Mintel Spotlight community. Make sure you never miss an episode by subscribing on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Goodbye for now, and we'll catch you next time on Little Conversation.